most day traders do not lack rules. You lack authority over yourself. Look at your rules. It's probably very detailed, thoughtful, intention. You probably spent money to try to figure this stuff out, but it is absolutely useless under stress. Why? It's because most rules are written to be reasonable, to be flexible. They're context dependent. When you go into the market, that's when you decide what your rules mean, which makes them perfect targets for emotional negotiation. So the uncomfortable truth is that you don't break the rules accidentally. You talk yourself out of using the rules that you know work. Like, you tell yourself, it's basically the same setup. I usually put a automatic loss, but I'm gonna manage this loss manually, right? Or I'm gonna just jump in because I don't want to lose this trade. Or you shouldn't be taking a trade, so you tell yourself, I'm just gonna risk less. And it's not reckless, it's just bargaining, it's negotiation. And discipline doesn't fail because you don't care. It fails. Discipline fails because emotion becomes persuasive. You're persuading yourself and talking yourself into doing things you shouldn't. So stop trying to follow 10 rules at a time, because this could be the problem. Choose one rule that invalidates a trade if it's broken. Just one rule that invalidates a trade that you're in or a trade that you're going to take. One rule, because then it's binary, right? It means you have two options, you just pick one. Either I'm in or I'm out. Either I take the trade or I don't. So here's a few examples, right? I feel rushed, so I'm not going to trade. I missed the entry, I'm not going to chase the candles. If my size exceeds XYZ, then the trade is invalid, I'm getting out. So the rule doesn't exist to protect profits, it exists to protect your authority over your rules. Because most traders resist this immediately. But what if it's still a good trade? But what if I know what I'm doing? What if I've traded this before? That is literally the problem. You're already negotiating. Binary rules remove negotiation, and negotiation is where discipline dies. Discipline has never been enough. So here's what actually happens when you enforce this one rule. You feel a lot of tension. You feel a lot of frustration. You feel like you're being put into a box and you feel restricted because that discomfort isn't about missing trades. It's about missing and losing out on emotional control, right? When you're negotiating, it's because you're trying to keep emotional control. Because when I tell you you can't enter a trade, now you feel upset and mad and frustrated. And so you negotiate with your rules to override that, because the real issue was never the rules. It was your ability to override the rules when it mattered. And we have to stop that, because most traders rely on willpower, and willpower will always collapse under stress. Structure does not collapse under stress. If enforcing one rule feels hard, it's not a personal failure, it's a structural problem. So the structure of your rules is what separates consistent traders from talented ones that know how to trade but keep blowing up. And so if that is you, I invite you to watch the private training that is the first link in my description box. It's going to explain to you exactly why you know how to trade, yet you keep still blowing accounts. So I invite you to watch. The link is there when you're ready. And I also want you to comment down below a personal experience of the last time you felt frustration when you tried to give yourself some guardrails or some rules in your trading, and you decided to negotiate with them anyways, and how that led to a loss. I want us to start exposing that story so that we can stop doing it collectively. And I'll see you guys in the comments, because I love reading your comments and I'll be responding to every single one of the comments.